Good evening and welcome back. This is the 6th episode of our subjective 2024 MLC Freebie retrospective, meaning we're in June. Before I get into it, I want to say thank you to everybody who's been kind of tuning in to me. They've kind of picked up a little bit of speed and the past couple of videos, and I want to thank everybody for clicking on it when it comes up in their feeds. Do me a favor, if you'd like to see more of it, hit me with a thumbs up, hit me with a subscribe. I'm 14 subs as of recording this away from 100, and on 100 I will do a video on my favorite card in the game. So only 14 subs away. Now on to the show. So June, if I remember correctly, was the Money in the Bank month. So we had Maryse, Miz, the newer striker Bret Hart, Trish Stratus, and Sammy dropped in kind of out of nowhere. Of this lineup, Miz was kind of the one that everybody immediately clued in on because he did a whole lot of damage relatively quickly. So he was the star of the month. But Maryse was interesting because she was the first women's showboat that was an MLC free character since December of 2020, which was Lacey Evans. It was the last freebie MLC showboat lady released in the game. And showboat women's division has been a tough road to go. You got Jade Cargill. Up at this point, you have Jade Cargill. You have the reworked, the very kind of new reworked showboat Charlotte, and then you got Lita, Bailey, Queen Zelina. I mean, you got some tough Hall of Fame Brie Bella, I think it is. Hall of Fame Trish, I believe, as well. I mean, it's a tough class. It's a tough category. So I personally had high hopes. And Maryse turned into one of those cards that I just irrationally hated from the jump. And I've got a couple of cards like that. Powerhouse Ridge Holland is another one. Just never liked it. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And Maryse was exactly the same. So much so that Maryse is one of the few cards that after this month was over, I had not touched until I started kind of doing my research for this video. Unless she was a CSS or something, in which case I don't even remember what moveset I used. Just something to fight me through it, and away I went. And I can't, like I said, I can't put my finger on why I dislike Maryse so much. At first glance, her movesets are kind of weird. You get the 7 MP force tag move. I always kind of like, unless the card is designed around this type of move, like the Showdown reworks that they did a couple months ago. I don't like seeing them, especially at 7 MP. That's a lot. So you have to use resources in Showdown in order to use this move. When I don't know, I'm going to get off my soapbox on that one. I'm just not a big fan of these in this particular, on this particular card in this particular manner. She has a reinforced moveset that works with Snowfall Gems. Snowfall Gems were kind of the showcase of this particular month. I think every card has some sort of Snowfall move associated with it. But this one here is just it's a big bunch of make reinforced gems, and reinforced gems to me are essentially functionally the same as X2 gems. So if you're going to do a multiply card, actually put multiply gems on it. Now reinforces can do some cool things like with Showboat KO, where you can kind of recycle a move if it's set up to do that. But for the most part, reinforced gem cards are not set up the way that Showboat KO is. So yeah, I mean, it's just, make some snowfalls, break the snowfalls, turn the snowfalls into blue, recycle, and go. Now, her gear probably makes this a little better. I think her gear is 100 to 200% blue gem, 100% more blue gem. So it turns them into X3s. Okay. But I did land on a move set after a while, and it's kind of a funky one, and it's a turn 2 or It would work in feud for sure, and for many of us, Maryse might still be the second best showboat for the ladies division on our roster, and for many of us, may still actually be the best modern era ladies showboat on the roster, just due to lack of competition. Okay. Trainer ability all around Snowfall. Snowfall gems 200% more damage, and red moves start with 2 more move points. I think she was probably built to partner up with Trish, now that I'm looking at it. Certainly not Miz, at least Miz's best moveset. This does not much for. I guess I have to check Sammy too. I haven't worked up my Sammy yet. I just got him recently. Anyway, here's the moveset that I ended up landing on, and after doing a whole lot of research, I always try to. So, in case anybody's curious, one of the ways that I construct builds for this, I spent a couple hours on Andrade a couple days ago just to see if there was a stone that was unturned, which led me down the rabbit hole of popping countdown gems and breaking traps, doing the majority of the damage, and et cetera, et cetera. And I kind of spun myself down in that direction. One thing I like to do is kind of theory craft with my faction. There's some great players and great strategists in my faction, and I lean on them a lot. And I can't tell you how much I've learned from them. It's kind of insane. Get into a good faction if you don't have people around you that can make you better, while still treating you with respect. Go find another faction where people will help you get better and treat you with respect. You have to. You absolutely have to. Anyway, that's usually my first step, is I talk to my faction, and then the second thing I do is I take what they tell me, and then I just stare at movesets, and I run gameplay, and I swap plates around, and I swap entourage around until I come up with something that I think feels good. And then the third thing I'll do is I'll go search YouTube, Maryse and Professor, Champions Chat, and Zorro. I'll even check a couple of the Discords I'm in to see if somebody's come up with something funky and way out of left field, because I really like the funky and way out of left field. And it kind of, this moveset is what my faction kind of helped me land on. And if you look around into the greater WWE champions community, this is the same moveset that they landed on. And it's based all around the combination of the countdown gems and the sub here. Okay. Canadian backbreaker, make 25 gems into 1 turn countdown gems that will deal 134,000 damage, and make 3 random gems into snowfall yellows. And then camel clutch, 28 random sub gems for 4 turns, and then the rest of them will turn into multiply strength 4. If you count this up, this equals more than 49. And whenever you are laying gems down that is more than 49, the game does not do what you think it should do, which is, cover the entire board first and then overwrite gems. No, if it knows it's going to fill the entire board, then overwrite, it'll just start overwriting immediately. And that turns into being a problem with this build, in my opinion. It makes it a little bit less consistent. And I'll show you when we get into gameplay exactly what I mean. Third is Russian leg sweep, 6 gems and making yellow. This is purely for reloading and loading. Important note, look at our MP costs here, 7, 7, 10. 10's the big one, and then the 7s are also difficult. You really have to go out of your way to get both of these loaded turn 1. Like, really have to go out of your way. And you sacrifice some damage doing it. So I went another way with it, and I'm going to use this plate to get everything loaded. What is this, Thugonomics, I think? Yeah. Break 3 yellow, get blue, or 3 blue. Okay. While I'm at the strap, this plate means nothing. It was, for some reason, on this strap. I don't even remember why. I just left it. It is what it is. Full Fury 2s. 200% move damage. And 35% gem damage. Now, just because I've seen Maryse talk about this a couple times, so I figured I'd get a little interested in it. I did kind of find some gems that will give me a little bit of substat bonus, which is neat. So If we go completely to looking at everything here, I'm at a 235.82%. So I've gained approximately 21% damage over the rest of my gems here from the whole setup. So, hey, every little bit helps. Percentages are huge the more you go up in rarities. Entourage, Braun Breaker, you have to have him in order to use this moveset, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're going to be putting yourself into a really tough spot where you're going to have to look into 5s and 3s, but you only choose 6. You have to start looking at generate more gems instead of gem damage. It gets gnarly. I think Braun Breaker is the way to go here. He is 4 yellow, 4 blue MP. And then over here, I've got Braun, 2 yellow, and then increase your multis by 1. Santa is here to help with blue. And you kind of, I guess you don't really need it now that I'm looking at it. No, you don't need Santa. And then I've got, because I've got 4 here, 5 for being myself. I'm going to break 3 yellow to load this, which will load that. Yeah, so we're actually going to replace him with Rock. Yep, there he is. Rock, multiply gems do 5% more damage. Multiply gems generated from moves to increase their strength by 1. And then I'm using Hall of Fame Taker, 12k more yellow damage. Now, I'm sure you've heard people talk about this before. If you move up in the rarities, swap this over with a percentage. Let me show you an easy way to figure out if you should be using percentage or if you should be using flat. Okay, let's go to stats here. Stats on the card. This is before entourage, belts, or anything like that, because all the trainers work off of base gem damage. All you have to do is take your 12k flat and divide it by whatever this amount is. In this case, it's basically 12k flat. That leaves you with 1 or 100%. So Hall of Fame Taker in this situation is working as 100% yellow gem damage up. If you can put something on your card that is better than 100% yellow gem damage up, then do that. If you can't, 12k flat is where you're supposed to be. So let's pretend that this said 24. You got 12 over 24, that's 50%. That's essentially meaning Hall of Fame Taker is a 50%. Hall of Fame Taker is a 50% yellow gem damage trainer. If you have something greater than 50% yellow, use that instead of Taker. See what I'm saying? So that's the easy way to figure out, should I use percentage or should I use flat? All right. So I think we've talked about everything. Let's show off some gameplay. Going up against 6-star Silver Becky Lynch. Probably not going to be able to turn 1 this, unfortunately. So tour perks are on. Right now in real time, I am needing 2 to get blue loaded. I need 3 to get the sub loaded, and this is loaded. Okay. So the easy way around it, break 6. Now, by breaking 6, I'm reloading this move. From the plate, I will reload the blue move, and then I'll get the 3 that I need for the finisher, provided I don't cascade, which I might, now that I'm looking at it. Let's do that instead. That was insanely stupid. Just insanely stupid. I didn't see the I just wasn't even paying attention to the yellow that was there. Alright, well now we're fully loaded. We throw out the countdowns. Remember, there's 28 of these. And we're about to throw, 25 of the countdowns, now 28 of the subs. Now watch where the subs place themselves. They're just going to overwrite stuff willy-nilly and leave stuff open. It's super infuriating. I know it's game design, I guess, or something that they never really thought of. But, man, it makes stuff like this so much less consistent. Because now I'm fighting this weird snowflake pattern. Snowfall pattern. But that's the best I'm going to be able to do is break those 3 columns. I think, yeah. Yeah, that's the best I'm going to be able to do. I'll put that there and hope for a cascade. Got a little, yeah, that'll work. 6.1 million. So we kind of backed our way into it, but you're not even in a perfect swing. You're not going to get too off of much more than that 6.1. I think in my testing and all the times that I've run this, I think the best I've seen is about 7.9. But it's one of those, you know, pretty classic sub then do stuff type of movesets. You know, Nikita Lyons is my favorite example of the sub then do stuff, or X-Pac is sub then do stuff. Yeah, that should break everything. That should be a pretty good hit right here. $9.2. Hey, that was a good one. But yeah, it's a sub but do stuff build. And that's really all I got to say about her. I'm still not a huge fan of this card, but just due to rarity in Showboat Ladies, she's probably worth looking up. You know, if you can get a consistent 8 to 9 million hit out of her at bronze, that's going to be 16 to 18 at silver, mid 30s to maybe 40 at gold. Maybe get yourself some feud perks and stuff like that. Turn that 40 into 45. It is a sub build, so you're going to be able to have, you're afforded some defense. You know, maybe you got something going on. It's sure better than like Showboat Bailey or Queen Zelina or Lita, right? But if you've got Maxine or Showboat Charlotte or Jade Cargill, like there's no reason to build Maryse up at all. She's better than like Akam and Andrade, kind of, but she still fits in that like, am I really going to use her again? And for me, no, I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not a big fan of the card, and probably won't touch her again until she's a required CSS. It's kind of is what it is. Hope you learned something today. Hope you were entertained. Hope you had a good time. If you like the sound of my voice and want to see more of this stuff, do me a favor. Click like, click subscribe, share to your fax mates. I'll talk to you next time.